Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amy and I am on a financial freedom journey with my family. I share all about that and more. Today we're going to be talking about our November budget. Wow, like second to last month of the year. I can't believe we're already talking about this. I do film these budget videos pretty early in the month, and so I feel like every month I'm kind of like ahead of schedule on like the months passing, but it just always feels crazy when we are talking about the next month. So happy almost November. I hope you guys are enjoying the fall season. I live in Wisconsin, so we have a very like distinct fall season. It's always one of my favorite times of year. It gets kind of chilly. Well, actually it's like downright cold right now. It is like 40 degrees or less today. So it's actually like downright cold, like winter jacket type of cold here. And so it's been a little bit of a colder fall than I would prefer, but I love the like changing of seasons and leaves and all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and get started with our November budget. So there's a few things in this budget that are a little bit different because we do have a few things that are coming up in November that I wanted to talk about. So one of the things obviously is Thanksgiving in the US. So we have Thanksgiving the end of November. I am not exactly sure what we're doing for Thanksgiving. I don't know if we're hosting or if we're not hosting. We typically in the past have hosted. Last year we weren't going to host and then we ended up hosting. So I am going to just prepare like we are going to host because I don't know what's going on yet. And I would guess that we're probably going to host. So I'm going to add a little bit to our grocery budget this month. And then also another thing that's happening in November is my husband's birthday. So we are going to add a little bit to our dining out category so that we can go out to like a nicer dinner. That's kind of what we like to do for our birthdays, is just go to like a nicer restaurant with our family and just have a good time there. So I always like to add a little bit to the dining out budget so that we can spend like a little bit more than we normally would and go to like a nicer sit down restaurant. Not anything like super crazy, but you know what I mean? Like an actual sit down restaurant and not like takeout type of deal. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So our first line item here is our income. So we do both work full time, my husband and I. We are W-2 employees, so we get basically the same amount every single, well, not basically, we get the same amount every single 2 weeks. It's nothing, special. We do. So I, at the end of the year, have potential to get a bonus in December, and my husband does have the potential to get a quarterly bonus. However, his company has not been doing fabulous this year. So that has actually not happened for him this year, but that's okay. We never count on that money. The bonuses that we are eligible to receive, we kind of just always have in the back of our mind, but we never budget based on them because, again, you just never know, especially with the economy the way that it is right now, you just never know what's going to happen with that like variable income. So I never budget on that. We also do typically have side hustle income every single month. Actually, I think we always have something. There's always something extra or something miscellaneous that we get for side hustle income every single month. So we always have some extra income, but I don't budget for that either because, again, you just never know what's going to happen with that. And we don't want to plan for money that we don't know for sure is going to be coming in. So our mortgage, this is for December 1st. So I budget for the first of the month of the next month, if that makes sense, for like our November paychecks pay for our December 1st mortgage. Our budget for our mortgage is $2,100. That is a little bit more than our actual mortgage payment. Our mortgage payment's like $19.95. So we pay about an additional like $105 every single month on our principal. That's just something that we prefer to do, just to pay a little bit extra on our mortgage. One thing that you won't see in here is our cell phones. We use Mint Mobile. I will leave a link down to Mint Mobile below. My husband and I have both been using Mint Mobile for a year now. We absolutely love it. I seriously would recommend it to anybody. Check the coverage map, see if they have good service in your area. If they do, I would highly recommend that you switch. It's so great. We have had absolutely zero issues with Mint Mobile since we've switched over, and it saves us so much money every single month and year when we have it. So super appreciate Mint Mobile. And again, I will leave my link down below. And you also will not see a water bill. So we pay water quarterly. We had that, I think, last month or in September. I can't remember. And then you also won't see our car insurance. We pay that biannually, and that actually comes out of our car sinking fund. So those are some of the common questions that I get about, like, where is this in your budget? So I always just like to caveat the budget with that. Like, there's certain things that you won't see every single month in our budget. And November is actually a pretty light budget month for us. We don't have a lot of those like variable expenses that are coming up this month. So that is always nice. Next up, we have Netflix. So we do still have Netflix, although I feel like we are always talking about canceling Netflix, but we never actually do it because we do have certain things that we really like watching on Netflix. We watch Love is Blind. I know, don't hate me. I feel like that's a show that people are like, oh my gosh, really? But I love it. I think it's so funny and like just I am like a reality TV junkie. If you guys maybe have been on my channel for a while, I think I've talked about this in passing before, but like I just love reality TV. I like thrive in the just mindlessness of watching reality TV. And so I am a huge fan of a lot of like the Netflix reality TV shows. So I don't know. It's, you know, it's $8. I don't know if we're going to cancel it. We might not. We might keep it. I don't know. And then we have our Peloton. So we do have a Peloton bike. And I absolutely love our Peloton bike. So we do pay $45 for the subscription for that. We have our internet. So obviously we have to have internet as I work from home primarily. So we pay $60 a month for our high-speed internet. We have our giving category. So we do have a recurring donation that comes out every single month in the amount of $100 to St. Jude Children's Hospital. If you guys aren't familiar, they're an amazing organization. We really love to support them every single month. And we've had this recurring donation now for almost 2 years. I think that's been going. Yeah. And then we have our childcare. So this we pay at the beginning of the month, but I never remember what day. I think it's like the second or third. So it's at the beginning of the month. And this is $5.85 a month. So this is for like the second half of the day for my daughter. She goes to a part-time like 4K program. And so we pay for like the other half of the day so that she's gone for like the full day instead of only a few hours. And that's been working out great. And then we also have our electric. So I am budgeting $250. That's been roughly about what we've been paying. And now that it's getting colder, we're going to have to start to increase that a little bit. So $250 should be good for November, I hope. And so that leaves our total fixed expenses for the month of November at $3,148 and our total remaining at $4,052. So let's move up to our variable expenses. So personal spending, my husband and I both get $100 a month. Oops, now I'm trying to write 100. It's $200, $100 each a month for personal spending. We have been giving ourselves $200 a month for gas. That's been working out well, but it is like gas is getting a little expensive here, so I got to watch that one. We are giving ourselves $900 for groceries because again, Thanksgiving, not sure if we're hosting, not sure if we're not, but either way, even if we don't end up hosting, we will probably be bringing a dish or, you know, baking and all that, the fall stuff. So I am completely fine with giving ourselves an extra $100 for the month of November. We will probably do that for December too, just because I feel like there's so much extra like food in November and December. I don't know. So I'm probably going to do that for December, even if we don't end up hosting anything. Then we're giving ourselves $100 for fun and kids, $200 for miscellaneous, and $300 for dining out. Again, like I said in the beginning of the video, it's my husband's birthday, so we're hoping to just take advantage and be able to have like a nice dinner out with our family to celebrate his birthday. So that brings our total variable expenses for the month to $1,900 and our total remaining at $2,152. So next category is our sinking funds. So we put money into our sinking funds every single month, and our sinking funds are car, home, Christmas, kids, and vacation. So those have been our 5 sinking funds for a really long time now. They've been working out fabulous for us. I feel like it's a really easy system that we've kind of fallen into. It did take us a really long time to get a system down that we really enjoyed. And so don't feel like if you're kind of struggling with like the balance of sinking funds and that kind of thing, don't feel bad because it does just take time to figure out what works for you and all of that. So we are putting 50 into car, 100 into home, Christmas, and vacation, and 50 into kids. So that has been working out great. I actually already have started Christmas shopping. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I did buy a decent amount of stuff on Prime Day. I have been kind of thinking of what we want to get our kids for Christmas. And so I've had a lot of stuff like in my Amazon Save for Later and my Target cart and like all these different places. We have like a bunch of different gifts and ideas for our kids. And so I did pull the trigger on a few things during Prime Day that were actually good deals. You do have to be careful with, Prime Day and Black Friday and Cyber Monday because not everything is always a good deal. But we have started dipping into our Christmas sinking fund. So it's always nice to have that money set aside so that you have it when you need it or when you want to start shopping. It is so incredibly amazing to have that money set aside and be able to participate in like Prime Day or a sale and not have to feel guilty about like not having the money for it. Up until we started budgeting seriously, like back in 2020, the beginning of 2020 was really when we sat down and we were like, all right, we need to get out of debt. We need to get on a better financial footing. We need to start budgeting, etc. Before that, like we almost always went into debt for Christmas. Like we would not plan for it. We would not save for it. And then at the end of the month, we would just be like, oh my gosh, we have this huge credit card bill that we can't pay because we didn't save up money for it. And now we're trying to pay this off and pay, the rest of our bills and all of that stuff. So it was always so stressful to come to the end of the year, which should be a really happy time and should be a really joyous time of year with your family and just have all that stress. So I highly recommend if you don't do any sinking funds, you should do one for like gifts, or even if you don't celebrate Christmas, just like, birthday gifts or gifts for other events that you may celebrate. Like it's just so nice to have that money set aside and not have to feel guilty for purchasing things for the people that you love. And I know myself, I am a gift giver. Like that is my love language. I love to give gifts. That's what I love doing. And so it's really always exciting for me to be purchasing gifts. And so I feel like now that we have this money saved up and a plan for it, it allows me to like actually have the joy of buying the gifts and not having that yucky feeling of like not having planned for it. So long rant about sinking funds, but it is incredible the amount of stress that it has taken off of me to have this money here and just have a plan for it and have it sitting there ready to be used. So total sinking funds for this month is $400, and that leaves our remaining at $1,752. And we are planning to put that towards our last financial goal of the year, which is our basement remodel fund. We are actually working on finishing part of our basement to be like a rec area for our kids where we can have like, a couch and that kind of thing for our kids. My oldest is 9 now. And so I feel like he really deserves like a spot where he can hang out with his friends. He's got a pretty small room, so like there's not a ton of room for him to like go hang out with his friends up there. And then, selfishly, I don't really want him to hang out in the living room because that's where I'm usually hanging out with my husband. And so I don't really want all of his 9-year-old friends like taking control of the TV and like all of our business. So it is going to be really nice to have that area finished in our basement, and it's definitely on our radar now to be saving money for that. So that's what we're working on. If you guys are interested in seeing more about that process, definitely follow along with my Debt Free Friday series, as I will be sharing more in those videos regarding what we're doing with the basement and what we're using this money for. So that's all I have for you guys for this video. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon in another video. Bye guys.